Hello there, everyone. This is Brother Birch. Real quick, I wanted to make a video for you real fast. I'm in between students for all the student interviews these first 2 weeks. And I looked on Slack and I saw a couple of questions about setting up Git repositories. And in our study session this morning, I saw a bunch more questions. So real quick, I wanted to kind of go through this with you. So I'm going to share my screen. All right, first things first. Let's go to a browser. And we are going to use GitHub to store all of our code. I'm going to click on New Repository, and I'm just going to call this CSC 310, leave it public, everything unchecked, create repository. All right, well okay, so that's done. I'll leave that window open here, and I'm going to open up VS Code. It's taking its sweet time here. Okay, so notice right here, I have a folder called Git, and inside of this Git folder, I have about 1 billion other folders, okay? So I'm actually just going to right-click on this and say Reveal in File Explorer, just so I can show you guys this. So this is right on my C drive. Okay, I have this Git folder right on my C drive, really easy to get to. Then I have stuff for all my classes. If I go to 310, I have this 310 course, which actually has nothing to do with code. It's like all your assignments and stuff. But I'm going to make a new one, and I'm just going to call it test. Okay. Maybe you could call it like 310 project or something, or 310 code, or first module, whatever you want to call it. But I'm going to call it test and close that. And now it should show up here because I have my Git folder opened here in VS Code. All right. Now I'm going to right-click on test and say Open in Integrated Terminal. And then in here, this is where I want to clone this new repository that I made. So I'm going to say git init, and I'm just going to kind of go through these commands. All right, and then it says git add readme. To actually add that, I have to create a new file. And so I'm going to make a new file called readme.md. And I'm just going to say test in here. That's not valid markdown, so don't maybe copy that. I'm going to say git add dot. That will add everything that I've changed. So I've only changed this one file. I could say git add readme.md, but this will do the same thing in this case. And then I'm going to say git commit -m first commit. That -m is for a message. You always need it when you're committing. And then I'm going to say git branch -M master. And then I'm going to just copy this. This is going to connect the repository that I made in GitHub to this empty Git repository that I initialized a minute ago. Okay. And then once I add that remote, I can push to that remote as well. So notice when we did add, we named the remote. We just named it origin. That's just by default. And then we say, okay, we're going to push to that origin, so this guy, and to the master branch, which is the default branch. All right, now if I refresh this page over here, you can see that we have a readme .markdown file with the test in there that we made over here. My commit was about 37 seconds ago, and my comment for that commit was first commit. Okay, now let's do another one. I'm going to come into here, and I'm going to say new folder, and I'll just say week 1. And I'll make a new file. I'll just call it test.js and alert. Testing is awesome. And I'll save that. I come into here and say git status. Nope, that was not right. Git status. Okay, and it says, hey, these are the untracked files. It just means that's what's changed. So I can say git add dot, and it will add everything that I've changed. Okay. If I say git commit -m for my message, adding first JavaScript file, and git push. All right, it shows what file was changed and inserted, and I can come over here and refresh, and you can see I had this commit adding first JavaScript file. That was right now, that literally just finished, and then we have that week 1 folder and our JavaScript file, and that's the only thing that's in it. Okay, and so we just successfully created a new repository. It's linked on the computer, and so I can make changes here all I want. Okay, if we were going to make this an assignment for our week 1, maybe I would change that to Hello World. Okay, for a nice Hello World assignment. Okay, I can come back in here, say git status. It shows what's modified. I can also use some nice GUI tools in VS Code. So this is an extension called Git Lens that you can install just by going to the extensions tab down here. But yeah, so it shows all sorts of stuff. Okay, it shows file history, and if I click on one of these, it'll show what is current in the repository, in the remote repository, and what the change is. Okay, and it shows, hey, these are uncommitted changes. And then again, if I look in here, you know, it shows that this is modified, which is really nice to be able to see that. There might be a way to like push repositories, pull, fetch, toggle. There's probably a way to do a add and commit and push. I always just use this. I'll say get add dot, get commit. This is our first class assignment. And get push. And so it'll just commit this one change. It'll show that it's just that one file that's changing right there. Then I can come back over here, refresh it, and now it says hello world. Okay. Now this is public, so I could probably open this up. If I just come here, probably open this up in an incognito tab and be able to access it because it's public. And so that's kind of the premise of your professional portfolio is, you know, you can share these repositories with people, okay? You know, you could technically go to just my GitHub account, but most of my stuff is private. But this 310 one's not. It looks like some of these ones aren't. And so you can look at those. And that's kind of the essence of your GitHub portfolio right now. So anyways, I hope that this was helpful. I know that I was brief, but yeah, I hope that you guys have a good time doing this and a great weekend.